I was trying to play basketball, but that's around the time I ain't make the varsity team. So at 16 was when I was realizing this for real. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do.
When Lil Jeff was tragically shot during a drill in Chicago, all eyes turned to his mother, who raised him alone in one of the city's most dangerous neighborhoods. Months after his death, the investigation has taken an unexpected turn, with his mother revealing some shocking details. Who exactly is Lil Jeff's mother, and did she play a role in his untimely death? Let's uncover the truth in this video, the shocking revelation in a drama that has captivated the nation. The shocking revelations made by Lil Jeff's mother have left everyone in disbelief. Known as Bloodhound Lil Jeff, his name has become synonymous with terror and violence, with allegations of his involvement in multiple gang-related murders. But what has truly stunned the public is the role his mother played in his life of crime. Rather than steering him away from a life of crime, she seemed to encourage it, cheering him on as he terrorized the city. Her support, whether out of misguided love or a desire for notoriety, played a crucial role in his descent into violence. One leaked chat between Lil Jeff and his mother showed her expressing her pride in violent actions. Lil Jeff, born Jeffrey Thompson, grew up in the gritty streets of Chicago, a city known for its vibrant culture but also its notorious gang violence. From a young age, Jeff was exposed to the harsh realities of his environment. The neighborhood he called home was a battleground where the sound of gunfire was as common as the laughter of children playing in the streets. It was a place where survival often meant choosing sides. And for Jeff, the allure of the gang lifestyle was irresistible. But Lil Jeff wasn't always destined for a life of crime. In fact, during his high school years, he was a promising basketball player, determined to make it to college and eventually pursue a career in professional basketball. His sophomore year was filled with success, including a couple of tournament victories. However, his dreams began to unravel the following year, when he didn't make his high school's varsity team.
He stole the chain, bro. We tried like he took it. He stole my own chain.
After this setback, Jeff seemed to turn to the streets, following in his older brother's footsteps and immersing himself in the world of gangs. As Lil Jeff's reputation grew, so did the list of crimes he was accused of committing. The most chilling allegations were his involvement in the murders of Monty and Lil Rob, two names that echoed through the streets of Chicago. Monty and Lil Rob were well-known figures in the local scene, and their deaths were a significant blow to their families and friends. The circumstances surrounding their murders were shrouded in mystery, but whispers on the streets pointed to Lil Jeff as the mastermind behind the killing. It was rumored that the motives stemmed from a personal vendetta, fueled by a dispute over stolen watches. This theory would later surface in the lyrics of his song A, where Lil Jeff rapped about the hit with lines like "Them did what they did and had to pay the consequence." He further rapped, "You would think AB if I told you about what I did." The song seemed to blur the lines between reality and fiction, leaving listeners to wonder how much of it was based on true events. The chilling admission in the lyrics, combined with the eyewitness accounts and surveillance footage, created a web of evidence that was hard to ignore. Lil Jeff and his team posted themselves on IG Live, basically taking credit for the murder of Monty and Lil Rob. The video was posted about 16 minutes after the hit. The evidence against Lil Jeff continued to mount. Witnesses confirmed seeing him and his crew at the scene of the crime, wearing distinctive gear that matched descriptions provided to the police. Additionally, the vehicle they used was identified, serving as another crucial link to the murders. Lil Jeff was also allegedly involved in 11 murders, supported by his own admission in his song The Gang Drills. A series of brutal initiations were said to be his proving ground, where he demonstrated his loyalty and ruthlessness. As the investigation into the murders of Monty and Lil Rob progressed, two members of Lil Jeff's gang, Bloodhound Slick and Bloodhound J-Mo, were eventually charged with their deaths. The arrest marked a significant development in the case, as both men had close ties to Lil Jeff and were deeply involved in the gang's operations. The arrest of Bloodhound Slick, Bloodhound J, marked a significant breakthrough in the case. Slick, known for his ruthless reputation, was the first to be charged, followed by J, whose ties to the victims added a chilling layer to the narrative. J-Mo's attendant at the same high school as Lil Rob and Monty raised questions about the influence of gang affiliations on young lives and the tragic consequences that often follow the investigation into the murders of Lil Rob and Monty. Was a complex and challenging process marked by a relentless pursuit of justice. Amidst a backdrop of fear and silence from the outset, law enforcement faced significant obstacles as the code of silence within gang communities. often hindered the flow of crucial information, however. The determination of the investigators coupled with community support eventually led to a breakthrough in the case. The initial stages of the investigation were focused on gathering evidence from the crime scene and interviewing potential witnesses. As the investigation progressed, the focus shifted to Lil Jeff's. Gang investigators believed that the murders of Lil Rob and Monty were linked to the ongoing rivalry between two Chicago gangs. This theory was supported by intelligence gathered from informants and surveillance operations, which pointed to the involvement of Bloodhound Slick and Bloodhound J. Bloodhound Slick, a prominent figure within the gang, was known for his violent reputation and close ties to Lil Jeff. His name had surfaced early in the investigation, but concrete evidence was needed to secure an arrest. Investigators worked tirelessly to build a case against him, utilizing a combination of forensic evidence, witness statements, and intelligence reports. The arrest of Bloodhound Slick marked a significant turning point in the investigation, after up to a year of painstaking efforts. However, the case was far from over, as investigators continued to pursue leads that would implicate other members of the crew. Bloodhound J, another key figure in the investigation, was known for his connections to both the victims and the gang. His attendance at the same high school as Lil Rob and Monty made the case even more complicated as investigators sought to understand the dynamics at play within the school environment. The arrest of Jay was the result of a coordinated effort between law enforcement and community members who were determined to see justice served. Throughout the investigation, law enforcement faced numerous challenges, including threats and intimidation from gang members who sought to derail the process. However, the arrest of these two affiliates of Lil Jeff made one thing clear. Lil Jeff may not have been bluffing when he bragged about the murders of Lil Rob and Monty in his song. And he was indeed a person of interest in the case. It left people wondering how such a talented young man got involved in such violence. Well, it all starts with his background. While he enjoyed the thrill of notoriety for a while, his love for violence would eventually cost him his life. Lil Jeff gets killed in Chicago. Drill: the day Lil Jeff was killed felt heavy from the start, with a tension that was hard to shake. It was just another day in the rough streets of Chicago, where rivalries ran deep. Violence was always lurking. Lil Jeff got caught up in another heated confrontation with a rival gang. What started as a typical back and forth quickly escalated into something much more dangerous. Shots rang out, sending people running for cover in the middle of it all. Lil Jeff's instinct for survival took over, and he chased after one of his enemies, determined to come out on top. The chase led him to a house that would soon become the site of his tragic end. As Lil Jeff approached, an unidentified figure emerged, weapon drawn, and unleashed a barrage of bullets in a split second. A single shot found its mark, piercing Lil Jeff's heart and ending his life in an instant. News of the shooting spread rapidly, leaving a trail of shock and sorrow in its wake for Lil Jeff's family. The impact was devastating. His mother, already under scrutiny for her perceived support of his violent lifestyle, faced an overwhelming wave of criticism and blame. The loss of her son was compounded by the public backlash, leaving her to navigate a complex web of grief and the guilt. Friends and fellow artists in the drill scene were also deeply affected by Lil Jeff's death. Many took to social media to express their sorrow and disbelief, sharing heartfelt tributes in the wake of Lil Jeff's untimely death. A flower of speculations and discussions emerged, centering on the factors that may have contributed to his tragic end. At the heart of these conversations was the notion of notoriety, a driving force in Lil Jeff's life and career in the world of drill music, where reputation often equates to respect and survival. Lil Jeff's desire to appear notorious was both a badge of honor and a dangerous gamble. The pursuit of street credibility had its consequences. However, in Lil Jeff's case, the more he leaned into his violent persona, the more enemies he made, and one of his most significant rivalries was with Trap City, a gang that became increasingly involved in his story as the conflict between the two factions grew. Initially, there were moments of neutrality. The relationship between the Bloodhounds and Trap City was not always contentious, with some members even claiming ties to both gangs. However, things began to sour over time, particularly after incidents like the death of Lil Jeff's cousin Z Money in 2023. Z Money's death, which was believed to have been a result of betrayal and gang rivalry, set off a chain of events that would only escalate the conflict. While authorities never fully solved Z Money's murder, rumor was quickly spread and many believed it had ties to Trap City, sparking a deepened rivalry between the Bloodhounds and the opposing gang. As the rivalry intensified, another bombshell dropped. An interview with Trap City members revealed that the cause of the rift was a stolen chain. This revelation was a tipping point for Lil Jeff, who quickly channeled his anger into his music. His lyrics became more pointed, more aggressive, less about the bravado and more about real violence. But at that moment, despite the growing tension, Lil Jeff hadn't yet crossed the line from talk to action. The violence was still simmering beneath the surface. That simmering violence would soon boil over. Lil Jeff's cousin Q50A, fellow bloodhound, was allegedly shot by members of Trap City, though he survived the attack. This escalated matters further, and Lil Jeff was thrust deeper into a cycle of retaliatory violence that led to his death. Once his death was confirmed, including the man believed to be his killer, Trap City Rob, were seen in a viral video celebrating Lil Jeff's demise as they took to the streets. After walking a short distance, the group arrives at the front porch of the house where Lil Jeff was actually murdered, and Trap City goes ahead to recreate how the rapper was killed, much to the amusement of the other gang members. Soon after, it was revealed that Trap City Rob was arrested in connection with Lil Jeff's murder. However, as the legal proceedings unfolded, the case against him began to fall apart. While video footage captured the chaos of the incident, it failed to definitively identify Trap City Rob as the shooter. Without conclusive evidence, he was released shortly after his arrest. Despite the release, the streets continue to believe Trap City Rob was responsible for Lil Jeff's death. The porch where Lil Jeff was killed is known to be a place Trap City Rob has been arrested multiple times before, further fueling speculation. Since the murder, Trap City Rob has not officially claimed responsibility for the crime. Despite widespread speculation about his involvement, in an interview with DJ V, when asked about the viral video and the attention surrounding the incident, Trap City Rob firmly denied any involvement.
I just feel like they bogus, man. Whoever started that, man, please stop doing stuff like that. Like, for real, it's like real life, though, you know? So, it's not no video game. It's not no movie, you know what I'm saying? It's reality, so.
Yeah.
In other interviews, Rob has gone on to criticize the violence often glorified in drill music, distancing himself from the culture.
I don't like the killing, but I like the energy, though. That's all I can say. I never chased that drill rap, bro. Like,
Okay.
Conscious, bro. Like, I'm in my environment, but I understand the overall. You know what I'm saying?
Whether or not he is being sincere remains unclear. Some wonder if he is trying to cover his tracks in the wake of his arrest. The events surrounding Lil Jeff's death are a stark reminder of the deep gang rivalries that plague Chicago. The city's gang and drill rap scene have flourished over the years, with artists like Lil Jeff gaining fame. Unfortunately, this culture of violence has led to the untimely deaths of many young men, some before Lil Jeff and others after. Chicago gang and trap rap violence. The history of gang violence in Chicago is a deeply complicated issue that dates back to the early 20th century. The city has long been a battleground for various gangs vying for control over territories and illicit activities. This violent legacy laid the groundwork for a culture where music became both an outlet and a reflection of the harsh realities faced by its residents. In the 1970s and 1980s, Chicago saw a surge in gang activity, with organizations like the Gangster Disciples and the Vice Lords gaining notoriety. These groups were involved in drug trafficking, extortion, and other criminal enterprises, creating an environment of fear and violence. As the crack epidemic swept through urban areas, gang violence escalated further, entrenching these organizations in the city's social fabric. Amidst this backdrop, a new musical genre began to take shape. Trap rap, characterized by its hard-hitting beats and raw, unfiltered lyrics, emerged as a powerful voice for the disenfranchised youth of Chicago. Artists used their music to narrate the struggles and dangers of street life, often drawing from personal experiences with gangs and violence. This genre provided a platform for young talents like Lil Jeff to express their frustrations and aspirations, resonating with audiences who shared similar experiences. The connection between gang violence and trap rap is complex. On one hand, the music serves as a form of resistance and storytelling, shedding light on the systemic issues plaguing communities. On the other hand, the provocative nature of the lyrics can sometimes exacerbate tensions between rival gangs, leading to real-life conflicts. As trap rap gained popularity, it became a cultural phenomenon, influencing artists beyond Chicago's borders. The genre's raw authenticity and gritty narrative struck a chord with listeners worldwide, cementing its place in the broader hip-hop landscape. However, the ongoing cycle of violence continues to cast a shadow over the scene, claiming the lives of promising artists and highlighting the urgent need for change in communities affected by gang violence. Drill music, A subgenre of trap rap emerged from the streets of Chicago in the early 2010s, quickly becoming a defining sound of the city's music scene. Known for its dark, aggressive beats and stark, unflinching lyrics, drill music offers a raw depiction of life in Chicago's most dangerous neighborhoods. Not long after drill music became the genre's rise is closely tied to the city's gang culture, with many artists using their music to chronicle their experiences with violence and survival. The origins of drill music can be traced back to the south side of Chicago, where young artists like Chief Keef, Lil Durk, and Fredo Santana began to gain attention for their gritty, street-oriented tracks. These artists, often affiliated with local gangs, used their music as a platform to express their realities, addressing themes of poverty, crime, and the constant threat of violence. The authenticity and intensity of drill music resonated with listeners, propelling it to national and international prominence. Drill music's impact on Chicago's gang violence is a subject of intense debate. Some argue that the genre glamorizes and perpetuates violence, with lyrics that often reference real-life conflicts and rivalries. The explicit nature of the music can sometimes escalate tensions between gangs, leading to retaliatory acts of violence. This has resulted in a cycle where music and street life become inextricably linked, with tragic consequences for many young artists. However, drill music also serves as a powerful form of expression and empowerment for Chicago's youth. It provides a voice for those who feel marginalized and overlooked, offering a way to articulate their struggles and aspirations. The lives and careers of Chicago trap rappers like Lil Jojo serve as examples of the tragic intersection between music and gang violence. Lil Jojo, born Joseph Coleman, was a promising young artist whose life was cut short at the age of 18. His music, characterized by its raw energy and direct confrontation of rival gangs, resonated with many in Chicago's South Side. However, his lyrics and affiliations also placed him in the crosshairs of ongoing gang rivalry. Lil Jojo's rise to prominence was marked by his fearless approach to addressing the realities of street life. His track BDK 300K became an anthem for those opposing the Black Disciples, a notorious gang in Chicago. The song's provocative nature and Jojo's bold persona quickly garnered attention, but it also intensified existing tensions. On September 4, 2012, Lil Jojo was gunned down in a drive-by shooting, a murder widely believed to be linked to his music and gang affiliations. Another notable figure in the Chicago trap rap scene was King Von Devon Bennett, known for his vivid storytelling and charismatic delivery. King Von quickly rose through the ranks of the music industry. His songs often depicted the gritty realities of life in Chicago. Drawing from his own experiences with the law and street life as a teenager, V found solace in music, pouring his heart and soul into rhymes that reflected the world around him. He started performing under the name Young V, but it wasn't until he adopted the moniker King V that his star began to rise. The year 2018 marked a turning point in Von's career. His single Crazy Story dropped, and the response was overwhelming. The song's success caught the attention of Lil Durk, who signed V to his record label Only the Family OTF. Suddenly, V was rubbing shoulders with the biggest names in Chicago's drill scene. However, like many drill advocates, V was closely linked to gang culture. He was well known for his association with the Black Disciples, a street gang based in Chicago. His affiliation with this gang was undeniable, and Von frequently referenced his experiences and connections with the Black Disciples in his music. Von's life wasn't just about music. By the age of 16, he found himself arrested for the first time in 2014. He faced charges of first-degree murder and attempted murder in connection to a shooting that resulted in 1 death and 2 injuries. However, he was acquitted of all charges in 2017 due to lack of evidence. The turbulence didn't end there. In June 2019, King Vo and fellow rapper Lil Durk were arrested in connection with the shooting in Atlanta. They were accused of robbing and shooting a man outside a popular drive-in. Both were released on bail, with Von set at $300,000. Tragically, on November 6, 2020, King Von's life was tragically cut short. He was fatally shot during a shooting incident outside a nightclub in Atlanta. The altercation reportedly started as an argument between Von's entourage and a group of men, which quickly escalated into gunfire. V was shot multiple times and rushed to the hospital, but he was pronounced dead later that night. The shooting was caught on video, and the aftermath showed a chaotic scene with multiple people involved. Let's not forget the life of Carlton Weekly, better known as FBG Duck, who grew up surrounded by the harsh realities of gang violence and poverty. Born on December 6, 1993, Duck's early life was marked by tragedy and loss, with his father being incarcerated and his mother struggling to make ends meet. Despite the odds stacked against him, Duck found solace in music, specifically rap. He began writing rhymes as a teenager, using his lyrics as a way to express the emotions and struggles he faced growing up in one of Chicago's most notorious neighborhoods. As Duck's skills improved, he started gaining recognition. Within the Chicago rap scene, he became affiliated with the Flyboy Gang, FBG, a local gang-turned-rap collective that included other notable artists like Lil J and Young Mo Ducks. Music quickly gained traction, with his raw, unapologetic lyrics resonating with fans across the city. He released several successful mixtapes, including Look at Me and This Thing of Ours, which helped establish him as one of the rising stars of Chicago's drill scene. However, Duck's success was not without its challenges. He was involved in a number of high-profile feuds with rival rappers, including Chief Keef and Lil Reese. These beefs often spilled over into real-life violence, with Duck being targeted in several shootings. Tragically, Duck's life was cut short on August 4, 2020, when he was shot while shopping on Michigan Avenue in Chicago. The shooting was caught on camera, and the footage showed Duck attempting to flee before being gunned down. These artists, among others, highlight the harsh realities of the Chicago trap rap scene. Their lives and deaths reflect the intersection of music, gang culture, and violence in the city, while drill music continues to provide a platform for young talent to tell their stories. It also highlights the dangers that come with being part of this culture. That's what made the revelation about Lil Jeff's mother cheering him on so shocking to people. Instead of steering him away from violence, she seemed to support and encourage the very lifestyle that ultimately led to his tragic death. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.